Well, hello again. Once to you and you and all you other yous too. The Ubertuberubers and all you others, and Ubertuberettes too. Uh, Come on, sit down. You're welcome here. I like being around people, except I can hardly stand it. So that's how come we're doing this long range. See, I can deal in a group. I think maybe you could too. Of being around two or three people or four, maybe tops five. And after that, everything's a crowd. I kind of heard somewhere that I don't know. The Native Americans, and this is probably all just hoo, but supposedly it was kind of like, uh, here's my numbers: one through 10, and anything above that is called many. Well, I don't think that was true. Our Native American friends might, I would say, have something to say about that. But so I don't mean to offend anybody, but what I'm saying is, there's so many things that happen around us. It just seems like some kind of weird slam bam thing where if you're out on a hockey rink or something, I don't know what the heck you're doing out there. I can barely ice skate, but anyway, skating ain't what this is about. I was looking ahead and looking behind today and thinking about what we're doing here down on planet Earth, and today at work. And I'm not trying to bellyache or nothing. I'm glad I got a job. I like working. I enjoy using my hands and my mind to solve problems, real problems, and make it right in real time. I mean, actuality wise, you know what I mean? Reality, baby. It's all about reality. Yeah, I'm going to move you back a little bit. You seem to be crowding me. What I do here now, this is a technical secret. So for all you other potential YouTuberizers, what I've done now is I've placed the camera, although you can't see it, you did just now, at about arm's length. And what that means to me is kind of like the little camera's about as far away as I would care to be with you, about arm's length away. Anything closer than that seems a little bit weird, doesn't it? You can get crowded and feel getting a little too close here, pal. So I was just thinking today as we were cruising along, doing a little bit of plumbing out there. Boy, golly, this a lot of dirt moving. I tell you what, if you can't buy it, you can't buy it. But it's real. I'm telling you what, I've been there for 40 years. If you can't stand moving dirt, you don't want to be a plumber. I tell people, tell the young guys sometimes, look here, my mom wanted me to grow up to be something special, like a big shot. Well, here's what happened, Mom. I became an overpaid ditch digger. About 93% of the real work is just moving the dirt. And there's a lot of guys that flake out right about there, want nothing to do with that. So looking forward and backward, I was just thinking, man, I pushed hard today, tried to make it happen, and well, we did. We got the water turned back on, but they had this weird Kinetico thing going on with, for some reason. See, I downside shut off the juice. I killed their water at about 8:40 in the morning because we were trying to figure out what was going on with this main out in the yard, because whether the main had a leak or not, because we couldn't quite prove it. It seemed awfully evident because the only valve control inside was the softener, and that pushed off, the darn thing still leaked. So we said, or not me, Demetrio came in and said, look, it's got to be the yard line. So I said, well, let's make it happen. So we dug and dug and dug and dug and dug. And my poor young guy today, he was Josh instead of Marty, because, somebody calls in sick. When you have little kids around, by golly, you better get used to being sick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-year-olds, by golly, them poor little rascals, they got to inherit every disease there is known to man and womankind. And then they develop an immunity to it. Well, guess what? In the meantime, mom and dad, who are standing nearby, also get sick. So, poor guy. But anyway, that's what it's like being a young parent. And I never went through that. I never did that, but I've seen it in a lot of young guys I work with. And you got to pay the price. You got to pay the toll. Because, I mean, raising kids ain't easy. And it's a big investment. And you got to understand going in that from your side as a donor, father, mother, on the parental side, it's going to look like a lot of dollars out of your wallet at the very minimum. I mean, so you got to think ahead. But anyhow, kids are blessing, and they're a gift from God. And I thank God every day for, young pregnant women who are bearing children, healthy children. Except, there's so many poisons and junk in this world right now. So, ugh, by golly, I hope they can keep them kids away from some of them so-called immunizations. Ugh. And so we're looking ahead, and I just thought, I want to just watch some videos tonight. And I ran across another one, and this guy's Jean Nolan, Inspired Tribe. Go look him up. And he's got a little short vid out right now, and you should go see it. Now, I posted it on my Facebook account, so if you can look me up over there, you could tap into that. But I don't know that, HTTP, thing, the link down there. I don't know how to do that. So I just kind of don't bother with it. But at any rate, go watch it nonetheless. This guy's talking about basically a treaty that's going to be signed probably in the United States of America, I think he says in May, but I really don't understand whether it's just the U.S. signing on or whether that's the last day that the signing can be made. But at any rate, when this treaty goes through, we've got another deal entirely. We have essentially a de facto world government dominated by something called the WHO, which can willy-nilly declare a health emergency, including involving things called global warming, and it has absolute authority over every state inside the UN thing, 194 nations. So see, the thing is, it's weird. The way they designed this thing, it's kind of like if you don't object to it, if you don't strenuously object to it and say, no, we're not part of that, then we're going to assume you're in because you didn't say no. So we're assuming yes. And so that's the way this treaty is being signed. End of freedom, end of the entire constitutional federal republic of the United States of America, and everything it stood for goes right down the toilet about then. And so you got to look forward and got to think, could this happen? Yeah. Is it real? Probably. Look ahead. 2024 is going to be a weird year. You got to be strong. You got to be, kind of agile and keep your feet on the ground and bear fruit while you're there. Root down. Make connections with people, real people, human people, and speak kind things to them. Because time is growing very short. We may be very near what the Bible calls the last days or something like that. But the problem is, according to sound interpretation, we've been in the last days ever since St. Peter wrote, I believe it's 2 Peter. But in other words, he said the last days was going on back there. Well, that's a lot of long last days, man. But anyway, tonight's sponsor, which has yet refused to send me a check. I'm not going to send them a bill. They're just going to have to view this video and realize, boy, this guy's got a lot of sway. We really need to back this guy, so send him some money. Yeah, don't hold your breath. So anyhow, it's just looking ahead. It's just, boy, talk about creepy weird. If this thing comes about, we're talking about by June of this year, 2024, everything changes. Because you now have a superior authority to the federal Supreme Court. You now have a superior authority to the executive officer, namely the president. You now have a superior order to the Congress, whether House or Senate or both. This thing supersedes everything. And it's all based on health. It's all based on your good, safe doing. So, by golly, you want to cooperate because you want to be healthy, don't you? Oh, my gosh. Talk about hypocrisy. These people are murderers, and they shall pay. The great God shall not allow murder and lies to prosper. This thing's going down. And so I pray that you spread the word. Think about it. Hear what John has to say. And there's the lady that he cites in his video, and she's the one actually kind of giving you the lowdown. But here's the story. This is the part you need to understand. We may be very near the actual end. The real end, in which, shall we say, the Almighty himself shows up, namely Jesus Christ, with his myriads of myriads. You know what that is? 10,000s of 10,000s of holy ones, all armed for war. Oh boy, this is the greatest holy invasion ever, and he's coming in person to do it and make it right. So, in other words, time is growing short. When are you going to make up your mind and realize there really was never any other hope than him? He's the only one who ever knew what happened in the first place, how I got so wrong, how I got so of course, so mean and always just complaining about everything and picking people apart and driving wedges and all kinds of stuff, whatever I've done over the years. He's the only one who came in as the true friend and said, it's sort of like this. When I became a Christian, it's kind of like this. I used to go in and do what was called scrying. I think it's still called that. But I only practiced it a few times. But anyway, you stand in front of a mirror. It helps if you're loaded, by the way. Think THC. Anyway, you stand and you just look at your own eyes, but just slightly higher. Just right about there. And just focus right above your own eyes in a mirror and just hold your own gaze. Your face changes. And in my case, it became something like, if you've ever seen the Fantastic Four, you know the guy I always liked was, not the Hulk. The Hulk was the green dude. This guy, he looked like rocks. Ben was his name. Ben, yeah. And he was super strong, you know, kind of like the Hulk. But anyway, he's just really, really ugly. That boy he looked like lava with feet. And eyes. But anyhow, I just felt so ugly. And so, just frankly, you know, I was monstrous. There were so many things in me that were just frankly devilish. And I knew it. And I knew that this could never fly. Not really, in front of the Almighty. Are you kidding? And so I didn't know what to do. I just wanted to give up. I just thought, there's no way I'm ever going to make myself right. There's no way I can fix myself. But, you know what happened? He kind of broke the bank. He took my logic bomb over here, and he busted me out over there. Here's the deal. I knew I was rotten to the core. I knew the best thing for me to do would be to end. Just stop. Just quit making it worse. Just die. And so I was suicidal. I was only like 19. But I knew by then that there's no chance that I'm ever going to get it right and get my act together and score points and be a success. Or whatever was being expected of me, although I couldn't even understand what that was at the time. But now I understand a little better. But the thing is this. I said to him, look here, sir, if you exist, and he does, by the way, and he heard me, I believe he did. And I said, look, you'd be a lot better off without me, and people even like me. I don't know why I'm hanging around, and I don't want to make things worse. Why don't I just off myself? I'm no damn good. Well, he just rolled that right around. He says, out of your own mouth you shall be condemned. He told that to you in the Bible, man. And it was like, whoa. It's like, wait a minute, I get this now. Because what he was saying to me was, if I am even accurate at all and gauging how really rotten a person could be, and me beyond hope, beyond that, well, guess what? I have just declared thereby that I who am judging me and condemning me am thereby a corrupted judge. I've avoided my own judgment. I overthrew my own judgment, and I said essentially, as best as I can do is offer a corrupt judgment, but corrupt judges are thrown out. The true judge shall be heard. And he was, and he is. And so there's always mercy to offer, and that's what the gospel's about. The mercy of God in Christ. But the time as it grows short, we keep thinking, maybe that someone's going to give me a sign. Maybe I'll understand somehow which way to go or what to do. Here's what to do right now. Just settle down, find a clean space in your heart, and say, thanks, Father. you did not worry about me, but you did, and I thank you for it. He's come forth to find people just like you and me. Why? There's nothing in it for him, but that was the whole point. It's about his glory all along. How strong and good and transcending is he? Well, we'll find out, because even people like me, as low as I am, and as you are too, let's face it, can say, oh, he opened up a new way. He's entered into us in a new and living way. And in that way, there's peace, his peace, founded upon the sacrifice at Calvary and the tomb, found empty later. Later he ascended, and there's witnesses of that. And guess what? You and I could possibly become witnesses of his physical return. Job says, with these eyes of flesh, I shall see my Redeemer stand on this earth. Speaking as a prophet. Well, I'm thinking, hey, Job, how about we hug up? You and me, man, we think together. I want to see Jesus Christ on this earth revealed in power. And that's what it's all about. And the WHO and their treaties and whatnot, oh, it's just going to make things ugly and worse. But he's at the center of this. He's the one they hate. He's the one they can't stand. And the folks who attend unto him are their enemies. There's a target on your head if you're a Christian. Then stand up and say, that's me. He wins just 'cause. Amen.